Hi guys, I am Mrs. M and today we are going to discuss about the isotopes in the Nature of Matter Part 3 video. So before we start the topic, let me ask you a brain teaser question. Do you know what technique is used to know the age of the fossil by paleontologists? If you want to know the answer, then watch the video completely. So what are isotopes? Isotopes are the atoms of different forms of a single element. That means these atoms have same proton number but differ in number of neutrons. Then what do you think about their atomic masses? Since the number of neutrons are not same for them, the isotopes have different atomic masses. Therefore, isotopes are considered or identified based on their atomic mass. But remember that all these isotopes represent that element only, and they are not considered as different elements. The reason behind that is the number of protons for all these atoms of that element do not change. Therefore, they all represent the same element. And let's take the example of carbon. So all these three varieties that are shown in the diagram are the different forms of atoms of the single element carbon. So carbon 12 is one isotope, carbon 13 is another isotope, carbon 14 is another isotope. So if you see here, carbon 12, it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. In nature, almost 98.9% of abundance is there to exist this kind of atoms in the nature. But when it comes to carbon 13, only 1.1% is available in the nature, this kind of atoms. And number of protons are 6, but number of neutrons are 7. Then carbon 14, 6 protons and 8 neutrons. So when you see all these three, what are the common thing that all of them have? Number of protons. Where there is a difference, number of neutrons. So then what do we call all these three atoms of the same element? We call them as isotopes. Carbon 12 and 13 are normal isotopes, but carbon 14 is a radioactive isotope. What is that? We will learn. So next is how to write the symbol for these isotopes. To write the symbol, then you should list the mass number of that element after its name or after its element symbol. For example, here carbon with 3 varieties of atoms. One is with 6 protons and 6 neutrons, and it is represented as carbon 12 or C12. Then another isotope of it with 7 neutrons and 6 protons. Then the atomic mass is 6 plus 7, 13. So therefore carbon 13 you should mention, or C13. Then another isotope of the carbon is with 2 extra neutrons. That means number of neutrons are 8. So carbon 14 or C14 we should mention. So next is how to represent the atomic number and mass number to these isotopes. So the mass number is given in the upper right side of the element symbol and atomic number is given on the lower right side of the symbol. For example, let's say element hydrogen. It has 3 commonly known isotopes, protium, deuterium and tritium. So the 3 isotopes can be written as I have represented here. So let's move on to radioactive isotopes. The isotopes whose nuclei are unstable and undergo decay resulting in emission of radiation are called radioactive isotopes. Remember, not all isotopes are radioactive. So out of these radioactive isotopes, some occur in naturally but some are synthetic versions. Though the radiation from these isotopes is dangerous, there are many practical and scientific uses for these radioactive isotopes. For example, they are used in detecting the age of the fossils and in the treatment of cancer, and used as tracers in the diagnostic field of medicine. Out of that, the very important one is carbon dating, is a method used by paleontologists for determining the age of the fossil. So what do they do is they compare the relative abundance ratios of carbon-12 isotope to that of the radioactive isotope carbon-14. So this radiocarbon dating technique totally revolutionized our understanding not only of our present but also of the events that are already happened thousands of years ago. I can say probably this is one of the most significant discoveries of 20th century. Okay, now time for checkpoint. Can you write the number of protons and electrons and neutrons for these following isotopes given in the table? So our next task is how to calculate the atomic mass of the element if it has isotopes. We know that atomic mass of the atom of an element is the weighted average mass of all the atomic masses of the isotope of that element. So we can have a formula for this one. Atomic mass of an element is equal to fractional abundance of isotope 1 multiplied with its mass, then plus fractional abundance of isotope 2 multiplied with the mass of that isotope, plus goes on till we finish all the types of isotopes that element has. To clarify more, we can take an example of sample problem. Chlorine 35 is about 75.5% abundance and chlorine 37 is about 24.5% of natural chlorine. Then what is the atomic mass of chlorine? So by using this particular formula, input the data that has been given in the problem. So atomic mass of chlorine is 75.5 by 100 multiplied with 35. This is about the chlorine 35 isotope atomic mass plus 24.5 by 100 multiplied with 37 is the atomic mass of the isotope 2. So together if you add, then we get 35.564 is the atomic mass of chlorine. Most of the students do get confused with molecule and compound. So let's clarify this before ending the video. So what is a molecule? Molecule is two or more atoms that are chemically joined with each other. That means it may be made of atoms of the one type of element or it may be made of different type of elements. That means let's say we have taken this particular molecule. This is a water molecule formed by, this one is oxygen and these two are hydrogen. So number of varieties of atoms in this particular one is 2. One is oxygen and one is hydrogen. What do we call this? We call this one as molecule. So let's say I have taken oxygen molecule. This oxygen molecule is made of 2 atoms of oxygen. So type of atoms are only one. Do we call this one as a molecule? Yes. Whether it is this particular one, that is oxygen, or whether this is water molecule, both the cases we call these two as molecules. But a compound is a substance that contains atoms of more than one type of element. That means, let's go for the same example, water. Now water is made of 2 different elements atoms. Therefore, we call this one as a compound, and it is a molecule and it is a compound. Yes, but we don't call this oxygen as a compound because this is made of only one type of elements atoms. So let's take another example. This is a ionic compound, an ionic compound, that is sodium chloride. So this is formed by sodium as well as chlorine atoms. So should we call this one as a compound? Yes. Should we call this one as a molecule? Yes. Then let's take the example of this one. This is a molecule? Yes. But is it a compound? Yes. How? Because it is made with different atoms. More than two types are there. Orange is there, blue is there, black is there. So it is made of different kinds of atoms. Therefore, it is a compound and it is a molecule. So this is the diagrammatic representation for atoms, molecules and compounds and all together mixtures. So you can easily understand by seeing the different kinds of atoms that are there in each category. So if you see molecule, it can be made of atoms of one single element or more than one type of elements atoms. But compound, always it should have two or more different elements atoms. Mixture can have all the things together. So let's take an example for taking as an analogy for ice cream. Imagine that I have gone to an ice cream store. Let's say that they have 30 different flavors of ice cream. So all those are considered as elements. These are the things that are available to build my dessert. Then the smallest amount of the ice cream the store sells to me is a scoop. So that scoop I can consider as an atom. If I want, I can put two or more scoops of the ice cream that I wanted together. Then that's called a molecule. If my molecule of ice cream is made of more than one substance, for example, chocolate chip ice cream, then I can call that one as a compound. So if I want my cup of ice cream with the 3 different flavors, then I call that one as a mixture. So time for checkpoint, guys. So now I have given a table with different materials, and I have given also what they are made of. So your job is to figure it out whether it is an element or compound by seeing the material that is made of. I think we are done with this topic today, and I hope you got the answer that I have asked in the beginning of the video. So the answer for that is carbon dating.